Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Art Museum of West Virginia University's Museum from Home series. Up to this point, we have focused our explorations on works of art currently on display in the museum's exhibition, Brilliant. However, in this video, we are going to highlight the exhibition Modern Movement, Figurative Works by Arthur Bowen Davies. This exhibition is on loan from the Maier Museum of Art at Randolph College and features works of art from their collection as well as the collection of Malcolm Cosgrove Davies. Unlike Brilliant, it is an exhibition focusing on a single artist, Arthur Bowen Davies, an important figure in American art history. He was a co-curator of the 1913 Armory Show in New York City, which was widely credited with introducing modern art to the United States. As an artist, Davies was heavily influenced by modern dance, and in particular, the work of Isadora Duncan. Many of the sketches in Modern Movement depict dancers in a variety of poses that suggest motion and physical energy. Now, you may be wondering, what is modernism? How is modern art different from other kinds of art? How is modern dance different from other kinds of dance? Well, these are complex questions, the answers to which can fill college courses and doctoral dissertations. But I will start by asking you, what do you think of when you hear the word modern? Take a moment and think of things you would consider modern. Is an iPhone modern? What about a typewriter? When I've asked that question on museum tours, people often answer with examples of contemporary technologies, like the iPhone. But in fact, a typewriter might be more in line with our exploration today. Modernism is an intellectual and cultural movement that took root toward the end of the 19th century in Europe and made its way to the United States by the beginning of the 20th century. It was a response to changing social and cultural conditions around the globe, including industrialization, and later, the response to the tragedy of World War I. In visual art, modernism was characterized by a move away from representation and toward abstraction, with new explorations of the impact of color, shape, and line. In dance, modernism likewise moved away from the strictures of ballet's formal poses and toward more organic, natural movement. On March 4th, the Art Museum of West Virginia University hosted an interdisciplinary panel to explore the concept of modernism in greater depth and to draw connections between these broader movements and the Modern Movement exhibition. Faculty members from the departments of History, English, Art History, and Dance offered their particular expertise. One of the highlights of the evening was a performance by Madelyn Dundon, who is a senior dance major in the College of Creative Arts. She performed a piece originally composed by Isadora Duncan in the gallery surrounded by Arthur Bowen Davies' works that made tangible the connections between modern art and modern dance and gave us all a stunning visual of the kind of movement that inspired Davies. We are happy to share with you her performance and a brief excerpt from the question and answer session that followed. The footage was generously captured by museum docent Gary Schubert, and Madelyn was mentored by teaching assistant professor of dance Maureen Kadar. And now, without further ado, I give you Madelyn.
So the solo just performed was choreographed by Isadora Duncan, and it is entitled Moment Musical, and it is set to Schubert's piece of the same title, Moment Musical.
Wonderful. And how did you kind of access, is there original footage of Isadora dancing this dance? Or?
There's actually only one tiny bit of footage of Isadora Duncan dancing that's approximately 15 seconds. But I did learn the solo from a recording from the early 1970s of a dancer of Isadora Duncan's company of disciples named Sylvia Gold. And so I studied the archival footage and then got in the studio and rehearsed it with Professor Kadar.
And can you tell me a little bit about what you need to think of as a dancer to dance in Isadora Duncan's style or in a way that, in a piece that is choreographed by her?
That's a fabulous question, Heather. And it actually looks very, very simple, I suppose, from the outside. The first time I viewed it, I thought, oh, I can do that. It's just a lot of skipping. And Professor Kadar said, oh no, it was much harder than that. And after rehearsing for the first time, I realized it is a lot of stamina. You're just skipping in place for about 3.5 minutes. Or not in place, but traveling as well. And in our first rehearsal, Professor Kadar's note for me was I was trying to move myself forward, and I was using my chin and my neck a lot, which I probably just did a little too much. But she said, really think of using, what's guiding your movement is your solar plexus. And that was Duncan's, I guess, most important part of her methodology was that all of your movement, no matter which direction you were going, was led by this force of energy inside you, and Professor Kadar identified it as, it's your fire chakra. It's that place of power inside of you that Isadora Duncan found to be the source of artistic expression. And so it was a very beautiful moment in the studio when she identified that, and all of a sudden the movement and where it was going made so much sense, because I was being guided by this energy inside me, and there's drama to it, and there is force underlying the gaiety and the lightness and buoyancy of the piece. So keeping all of that in mind, keeping it light, but also using tension and pull and throughout the work, those are just all things that you're thinking about.
We hope that you enjoyed Madelyn's performance as much as we did. And we also want to wish Madelyn and all of West Virginia University's seniors well as they graduate and move on to what we are sure will be amazing endeavors. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you again soon.